Observer mission says on electoral reform in Guyana. JAGDEO refutes APNU AFC'S claims of victimization against Afro-Guyanese. Former High Court staff in custody over transport fraud for ECCLES property. 16-year-old charged for killing 10-year-old SOPHIA boy. And 50,000 doses of SPUTNIK vaccine expected in 2 weeks. And now for the news in detail. On the heels of a 5-month-long political crisis that gripped the nation following the March 2, 2020 general and regional elections, the European Union Elections Observer Mission has made a string of recommendations, all aimed at improving the electoral system in Guyana. During a press conference today, the head of the EU EOM said decisions and actions must be taken before the country embarks on another electoral process. Here's our lead story tonight.
The EU observation mission has returned to Guyana 1 year after being forced to leave due to the COVID-19 pandemic last March. According to the mission head Irma Speet at a press conference Friday morning, their return is not just to present their final report, which includes some 26 recommendations, but also to kickstart the process for electoral reforms, which they believe are essential to improve future elections.
And now is the time for decisions and actions. For election reform to be effective, its implementation needs to begin well before the next elections are called. Inclusive and transparent reform processes help build confidence and their results.
Already, the team has met with President Dr. Irfan Ali, Speaker of the National Assembly Manzoor Nadir, Chairperson of the Guyana Elections Commission Justice Retired Claudette Singh, Opposition Leader Joseph Harman, Attorney General Anil Nandlal, Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd, and Chief Justice Roxanne George. Next week, the EU EOM will be holding a roundtable discussion with local stakeholders on their recommendations. As such, Deputy Head of the Observation Mission, Alexander Mattis, added that they believe there is a way forward to improve the elections process.
I think we are optimistic after the first round of meetings with the key stakeholders, and we do believe that there is a genuine interest in doing something ahead of next elections. So in our positive way of thinking, we don't expect any major roadblocks in the way. And we do believe that Monday's discussion can actually bring more answers to your questions, where we can see what are the positions of different stakeholders and how they are prepared to participate in the debate and what kind of reform solutions they are able to support.
Among the stakeholders invited for the roundtable discussions are Office of the President, Government, National Assembly, Constitutional Commissions, political parties, as well as members of the civil society. Key stakeholders have already indicated their attendance. Of the EU EOM's 26 recommendations, 8 are priority suggestions to review and consolidate the fragmented election legislation,
are losing out on opportunities based on lies peddled by the opposition. Here are the details.
During a recent appearance on a Globespan program, Vice President Bart Jagdeo posited that the opposition coalition is using this charge of vindictiveness against Afro-Guyanese as a means to cover up corrupt acts.
Corruption. Now, when we talk about corruption, we're not saying Afro-Guyanese are corrupt. Afro-Guyanese and Indo-Guyanese, any race can be corrupt. That they would never say anything when the government just sued BK to recover work that we believe was sold way below the value. 20-something million US sold for maybe less than 500,000. So we sued him. We sued Larry Singh. We sued the other guy, Maharaj. But nobody says anything.
The latest accusation by the opposition was made just last week when the former commissioner of the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission, Trevor Benn, was arrested and charged for misconduct in public office over the sale of lands on the east coast of Demerara. However, JAGDEO pointed out that this was in keeping with a pledge he made before last year's elections to go after all the land deals and major contracts that were signed after the December 2018 passage of the no confidence motion. Moreover, the Vice President noted that the coalition accuses the PPPC of being racist when, under its previous 23-year rule, Afro-Guyanese predominated the public service and headed many state entities, a practice which has continued even in its current term.
This group, in an attempt to paint the PPP as racist, talks about Afro-Guyanese cannot find a place in the public service. Of the permanent secretaries that the APNU had, not a single Indo-Guyanese. We look at the composition now of permanent secretary. Look at the ones we had. It reflects Guyana.
Further, VP JAGDEO explained that these claims against the PPPC are not only affecting the government but also young Afro-Guyanese who are being hindered from tapping into opportunities.
All that I'm saying here, we do suffer from these charges because when you reach out to the communities, when you go to a community and people are primed by saying, oh, the guy who's coming is racist, is discriminating against everybody, then it sets up a kind of suspicion in the villages and the communities when you want to engage young people. And it does harm them. They're reluctant to engage. They're reluctant to explore the opportunity. I want young Afro-Guyanese kids to see this as their government too. They must explore every scholarship option, every job option.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manik-Chand.
Police have since arrested a former employee of the High Court Registry as they continue investigations into the fraudulent transfer of prime property situated at ECCLES, East Bank, Demerara, to some name of so far unknown persons. Ebony Giles tells us more.
Rohit Lal, the owner of the land located at ECCLES East Bank Demerara, became aware of the transfer when he attempted to pay his rates and taxes at the Neighborhood Democratic Council. Lal was informed that his plots of lands, Lot B and C ECCLES, had been transferred to one Mohammed Wazir of 4th Street, Herstelling, East Bank Demerara. Upon further investigations, Lal discovered the transport had been passed via court order granted by former High Court Justice Jainarayan Singh in September 2008 following an application filed by Mohammed Wazir. Lal subsequently made a police report. As such, ranks have since arrested a 37-year-old former staffer of the High Court Registry who was attached to a realty firm. According to the information received, the former staff was the individual who had presented the requisite documents for the transfer. Upon questioning, the man told police at the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters that the documents were given to him by someone called Max, whom he claims he had known since 2009. However, the man has since been unable to provide contact information for Max to support his claims. Furthermore, the Evening News understands the checks made to the filed address for Wazir proved futile. Notably, all the records of the transaction have since disappeared from the court's database. Additionally, a source close to the investigation told this newscast that the ID card is suspected to be a bogus since no information seems to lead police to Wazir. This case involving the ECCLES property was recently brought to light by Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandalal during a recent appearance on the Government in Action program, where he committed to strengthening the country's laws to guard against property fraud. Reporting for the Evening News, Ebony Giles.
Chief Executive Officer at Sevon's Waste Management Services, Maurice Archer, has been asked to report for questioning at the Criminal Investigations Department, Ivleri, in relation to the ongoing investigation into the sale of a plot of land at Mandela Avenue to his company. In an interview with the Evening News, the businessman explained the outcome of his interaction with the police and his expectations of the ongoing investigation.
In an interview with the Evening News, CEO of Sevon's Waste Management, Maurice Archer, McAllister, confirmed that at about 13 hours on Thursday, he visited the Criminal Investigation Department at Ivleary, where he was required to lodge a statement in regards to his ongoing land matter. In February 2021, Attorney General Anil Nandalal had informed the CEO via a letter that he has until March 31st, 2021 to evacuate the land located at Mandela Avenue, Georgetown. The land in question was used by Sevons to construct the company's spanking new headquarters, which is already in use. But the attorney had explained that the land is property of the National Sports Commission and should not have been leased by the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission. As such, Nandalal dubbed the sale illegal. But Archer had expressed hopes for an out-of-court settlement since, as far as he is aware, all the legal process was followed in purchasing the land. The businessman had claimed that when the land was evaluated, it was valued at $40 million. Nevertheless, the price the company was required to pay amounted to $100 million. Even as the investigations continue, Archer remains hopeful that the matter will be sorted outside of the court. For the Evening News, LaWanda McAllister.
Coming up, Guyana considers setting up seismic monitoring center. 16-year-old charged for killing SOPHIA boy, who's 10, and councillor calls for better measures as Region 5 RDC struggles to maintain social distancing. Stay with us.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rheinveld.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the two most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevons Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevons Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Dr. Kumar Sukraj Diabetic Foot and Wound Care Clinic at St. Joseph's Mercy Hospital. Specialized treatment for all diabetic foot problems, varicose veins and venous ulcers, warts, corns and calluses, ingrown infected or thick toenails, surgical and traumatic wounds. Additional services include diet planning and counseling, blood sugar management, family wound care education, and specialized footwear. Your health is our priority. For appointments, call 622-8032 or 619-5304.
John Lewis Styles introduces its VIP Rewards Card. Apply today and get special discounts on clothing, shoes, and accessories. Shop and save on your favorite brands by just showing your card. No points to accumulate or bills to keep. It's that simple. Apply today for your John Lewis Styles VIP Rewards Card. See store for more details. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Worried up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one one hold it up and say, must have put the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like, but stand you full of vibes. Living full color, and no black and white. We do what we like, we live to enjoy life. Pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, must have put the colors.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The Civil Defense Commission said it will consider setting up Guyana's first permanent seismic monitoring station to strengthen the nation's capacity to study underground events that can lead to earthquakes. The organization made the announcement during a media engagement aimed at updating the public on the installation of equipment to monitor seismic activity at 4 sites in Region 9, Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo. Each site captures seismological data on the 5.7 magnitude earthquake that rattled sections of the South Rupununi on January 31st this year. The natural disaster resulted in several houses crumbling down and roadways being cracked open. In 1964 and 1954, Guyana's deep South Rupununi was affected by 4.3 and 4.8 magnitude earthquakes respectively. A 16-year-old lad has been charged for killing 10-year-old Anthony Court of Seafield, Sophia, Greater Georgetown. The teen was today charged with murder in the course of furtherance of a felony. The young man appeared at the Sparina Magistrates Court, where he was not required to plead to the charge. The teenager has been remanded to the Sophia Juvenile Holding Center, and the matter was postponed to May 12, 2021. Court was killed during the execution of a robbery under arms on March 11, 2021. Court was a student of St. Ambrose Primary School and had dreams of becoming a medical doctor. Police say no one else has been arrested or charged in connection with the crime. Investigations are ongoing. We now tell you that the Ministry of Education and the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Guyana have signed a memorandum of understanding to launch the Guyana-China Friendship Youth Leadership Development Award, where eligible students can get opportunities to win a whopping $1,000. More in this report.
The leadership program is expected to take the form of a competition that will focus on 3 areas: a community-based project, critique of a work of art, and the participation in sport activities such as athletics, gymnastics, dance, and swimming. This is according to the administrator of the Unit of Allied Arts, Miss Lauren Barker King. King said the competition is open to grades 8 to 10 students in any of the 11 education districts.
The objectives of this program are to develop cognitive, emotional, and civic skills among learners, display and exemplify leadership skills, showcase the talents of our learners. The staff of the Unit of Allied Arts has been assigned this task of executing the competition, and we sincerely promise that this will be done with a standard that is normally exemplified by the Ministry of Education.
Students will be shortlisted based on their participation in sports, academic performance, leadership qualities, mental qualities, self-control, sociability, and social action and participation in clubs and societies. Each winner from the 11 education districts will win $1,000. Meanwhile, Minister of Education Priya Manik Chan said that her ministry is happy to partner with the People's Republic of China on this initiative.
Anything that could help us advance that process is always welcome. And so, Sharjah, we're very happy to be able to partner with you. I mean, I think we have seen really fine examples across Guyana in all 10 regions where students without any incentive really strive to be their best and then come back here and serve us or go out into the world and serve different people in the world. However, incentives are always good. And so we're very glad that we're partnering with your country.
Meanwhile, Chief Education Officer Dr. Marcel Hudson said the award program is significant at this time as it allows Guyanese students to remain engaged even during a pandemic. He believes that a program of this nature will give students the impetus to perform and allow them to see themselves differently and realize that their life should not be confined to academia. For the evening news, Lawanda McAllister.
Since the 914 hotline was launched in December, a whopping 197 reports of domestic violence and child abuse were brought to the attention of authorities. On the other hand, there were some 200 prank calls made to the emergency number. Here are the details from Rupa Sienarine.
The 914 hotline is a toll-free number operated on a 24-hour basis for persons to raise issues on various forms of abuse and violence throughout the country. Human Services and Social Security Minister Dr. Vindhya Prasad explained during a press briefing on Friday that of the 197 reports, 158 were related to domestic violence and 38 to child abuse.
We have noticed that most of the calls are coming in from Region 4. 113 of those calls came from Region 4, and the second highest was from Region 3. So if we look at the spread across the country, in some cases there were reports from the hinterland. In terms of reporting, we had one child make a report directly in terms of the cases of child reports, and most of the other cases where child reports came in, they were done by adults, usually persons outside of the situation. And that's a good thing because it means people are being vigilant and they're taking the issue of child abuse very seriously.
She said in response, immediate intervention is sought to assist victims in these situations. The children-related reports were forwarded to the Child Care and Protection Agency.
Immediate intervention would require officers to contact the police directly if there are issues that require immediate intervention to take a person or a child to safety. That has been occurring. And of course, those who are in situations that do not warrant immediate attention, the officers will intervene, whether it's counseling or whether it's linkage to our support services.
According to Minister Prasad, abuse of the elderly is a common occurrence and should also be reported.
And as I mentioned, the elderly population, as you can see, we are bringing a lot of attention to elderly abuse because it is something that happens, and many a time it is not really spoken about. And so we want to say to the elderly persons out there, 914 is also for you. Don't think it's only children or specific cases of violence. Elderly violence is very much out there, and it can be anything from neglect to actual physical violence to even sexual violence that is perpetrated against elders.
While persons have been utilizing the hotline, the ministry has also seen over 200 prank calls. Rupa Sienarine, The Evening News.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony said the first 50,000 doses of the Russian SPUTNIK vaccine are expected to arrive in the country in 2 weeks. Find out more in this report.
We were expecting to receive the first 5,000 doses from them. And we're still working out the logistics to get that from Moscow to Guyana. In addition to that, we have put in a purchase order for 200,000 doses of the SPUTNIK vaccine, and within a 2-week period, we should have the first 50,000 doses arriving in Guyana.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony providing an update on government's efforts to secure more vaccines for the population. In addition to the vaccines from Russia, the government is awaiting a consignment of 104,000 vaccines through the COVAX mechanism and 149,000 doses under a CARICOM African Union purchase agreement. The government has already received 103,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines, the latest being a batch of 80,000 of the AstraZeneca from India. It received 20,000 doses of Sinopharm from the People's Republic of China and 3,000 of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine from Barbados. To date, over 15,000 persons have been vaccinated. The vaccines are currently being offered to frontline healthcare workers and persons who are 60 years and older. Advisor to the Health Minister Dr. Leslie Ramsamy had revealed that from next week, the campaign will be opened to individuals age 50 and above. The Health Minister noted, however, that more work needs to be done to encourage persons to take the vaccines.
One such area is in Linden, where I think we need to get more of the community out, and we need people of influence in Linden to advocate for the vaccine, because as we know, once you're immunized, it protects you from getting the more severe form of COVID.
The government's aim is to vaccinate 50,000 persons by April 11th. For the evening news, I'm Lawanda McAllister.
The Regional Democratic Council of Region 5, Mahika Berbice, is struggling to maintain social distancing during statutory meetings, but at least one councillor is calling for better measures to be put in place to ensure the protocols to protect the population from the spread of the coronavirus are followed. Andrew Carmichael has details.
At Thursday's statutory meeting of the Regional Democratic Council of Region 5, there was hardly any social distancing taking place. The matter was raised by Councillor Delon Crawford, pointing to the number of persons who were seated in the boardroom. Crawford called for alternative measures to be put in place for the hosting of such meetings.
And I'm asking, we have more buildings. We have the annex at Bushland. Look our distance. We are not following the guidelines. And I keep mentioning it, and I didn't see. I didn't mention anything when I didn't see reflected in the minutes. While I mentioned it, I'd like for it to be recorded this time. The second time I'm raising this issue. Can we please please fix your mask? Can we please look into this matter of social distancing? Look like we got jokes. But it's a serious thing. COVID-19 is serious. And if we are also surprised that the RHO all is sitting close next to the engineer over there. We're not doing the bidding of keeping ourselves and our families safe. So can we please come up with some measure? Move the meeting to another location, space out, because I think there's some more space that we can all be more comfortable and feel a little bit more safe.
Acting Regional Chair Ryan Peters noted that it was the previous Regional Executive Officer who would have rearranged the seating. Nevertheless, Peters agreed that the guidelines were not being followed as it relates to social distancing.
Nevertheless, I want to implore on all of us that we need to take this seriously, and whatever measures need to be put in place to ensure that we enforce all the measures will be taken, I'm sure. Honorable Member, come.
For the evening news, Andrew Carmichael.
As testing continues to increase, the country has detected 44 new cases of the novel coronavirus, which takes the total positives recorded to date to 9,486. There are currently 800 active cases. 9 of those individuals are seeking care in the intensive care unit, while 45 are in institutional isolation and 767 on home isolation. Meanwhile, 9 persons are in institutional quarantine. The number of recoveries stands at 8,453. While the death toll remains at 212. And now for a look at the bridge report.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Saturday, March 20th, 2021 at 9 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Saturday, March 20th, 2021 at 7 hours 35 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Now let's take a look at the local stock exchange market. Compliments of Gasky. Craig Brafford looking forward for first test captaincy, and Mayor Chase highlights day 2 as President's 11 Sri Lanka plays to a draw. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by Marcorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Make a healthy choice with Fruta. Fruta is right for you. Fruta with vitamin C. Fruta for you and me. Fruta flavors you love. It's got vitamin C, a taste that can't be beat. Made with real fruits, yeah, it's Fruta. Fruta, Fruta, a natural juice. Fruta, just right for you. Fruta, so make a healthy choice with Fruta.
Dried Fruta cans, now $180.
Wayne Pressure Pumps out of the U.S. is the ideal solution for your water woes. At Sylvie's Variety Store, we bring you the top line of automatic pressure tank pumps ideal for building offices and residential homes. Just turn on the faucet and pressure at your fingertips. The Wayne collection includes pool pumps, well pumps, and utility submersible pumps. Parts and accessories available. Sylvie's Variety Store, bringing you the quality you deserve every time.
Your #1 supermarket cost cutter has everything you need. Come down to our Sheriff Street or our Track A Farm East Bank Demerara location and shop in comfort, knowing that you're also getting the most competitive prices. We currently have specials on onions, 5 pounds for $500 or 50-pound bag for $3,500. Purple onions, 25-pound bag for $22.50. Happy macaroni 400-gram packet, 1 for $200 and 3 for $500. Just juice 500 milliliter, 1 for $135 and get 4 for $500. Miran soybean oil 500 milliliter bottle, 1 for $275, 4 for $1,000. Aqua Pure water 24 330 milliliter bottles, $1,100 per case. Buy 10 cases and get 1 case free, and much more. Give us a call on 231-7180 or 502-5660. You can also WhatsApp our farm branch on 686-6501 and our Sheriff Street branch on 686-7536.
Get the right seal right now from Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc., your immediate SKF sealing solutions. The SKF Seal Jet Machine is capable of building seals from 5mm to 600mm in diameter in under 5 minutes. With technical support readily available, you can get a customized seal to suit virtually any industrial application, like buffer, rod, wiper, and piston seals. SKF Seal Jet Machine, now at Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc.
Massey is by your side as we continue the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. In collaboration with OneCart, you can now get your groceries delivered, or you can pick up curbside. Call, email, or WhatsApp your order to us. This service is available at both Providence and Turkine locations. Delivery and pickup between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The fee is based on location. Orders must be paid in cash and placed 24 hours in advance. Special conditions apply. Remember to always protect yourself and those around you by wearing your masks. Also, don't forget to wash your hands and maintain a distance of 6 feet at all times around persons. Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Hey, come by. I want to talk to you seriously. Alright, that's what he want now. Yeah, daddy. Boy, you don't work. You don't pay rent. You just there sucking up the good air and eating and drinking up everything inside. I notice even the fish in the tank they stop swimming when you come in just in case. Alright again. But you there here lifting on the light, lifting on the fan, forgetting to turn off the TV when you're done. What's wrong with you, boy? You can't see it's money wasted. You got to learn to conserve energy, boy. When you left the room, turn off the light. When you finish watching TV, or you see the TV on and nobody watching it, turn it off. Must look around the house, the iron, the microwave, and them kind of thing. Because hear me, youngster. You see, if I got to pay more electricity, your pocket money gonna get chopped. No, daddy. You don't gotta do that. I gotta make sure I turn off the light, them TV, and check around making sure that them electrical thing don't left on. I like how you sound in there, boy. Alright, go on and do your homework. I swear to the good Lord, you see if this boy reach 18, change me name, yeah?